Hello and welcome to Q Programming. My name is Sammarth, and in this video, we'll be looking at the access modes for files. In the last video, we looked at absolute and relative path. So this is the second component of opening a file, which is the access mode. So the access mode is very important because it tells the program which type of mode we can access. So we have the read mode, we have the append mode, and we have the uh, read, write, append and write, all those mixed modes as well. These modes are important to specify when we're opening the file. And by default, the default mode is the read mode. Means that when we open a file without mentioning which mode we want to open in, it will open it in read mode, which means you can only read the contents of the file. We can't modify the file at all. Let's look at the table right here that we have the different file modes that we can use. So the first thing is we look at the read mode. We just talked about the read mode, which is you only read the file, you can't write the contents, you can't do anything with it. So when we're talking about the read mode, we have a file pointer, right? We know that there's a file pointer in our files. The file pointer basically tells us the position, the byte at which our the program is reading that file. So for example, if I'm starting, the position will be at the start, the file pointer will be at the start of the file. If I'm at the end of the file, the pointer will be at the end of the file. Anywhere in between, it will be the file pointer will tell me the location at which my program is in the file, right? So the read mode, it starts from the beginning. So when you open a file in read mode, the file pointer is at the beginning of the file, right? And that tells us that we're going to start reading the file from the beginning. Now the next one is write mode. We'll go to the third row in this table. Write mode basically means we can just write in it. We can't read, but we can add data to our file. So in this, it also starts the offset is from the beginning, which means that when we open a file in write mode, the file pointer will be at the beginning of the file. So even if there's some data, it'll be overridden. Now, one thing which you need to know is that the write mode, if there's no file that exists, so if I say open file.txt, comma write, comma w, and try to open that file, then it will create a new file for me if that file does not exist. But in the read mode, that will not happen. So let me show you how that works. So if a file is equal to open file.txt. Now remember, file.txt, when we're not specifying the mode, then it by default gives the read mode. So I try to open it. So it says no file or directory found, file not found error, no file or directory found, because it doesn't exist. But if I try to open in write mode, let me open in write mode, then you can see the code runs successfully. So that means that the write mode will create that file if it does not exist, but the read mode will just produce an error, which is the file not found error. Okay. Now the next mode is the read and write mode. So read and write mode means that it can read and write at the same time. But remember, if it's read and write mode, it will not create a new file when the file does not exist. But if you want to read and write and also create a new file if it does not exist, we use the W plus or plus W mode, right? That's the difference between R plus and W plus. That R plus does not create a file if it doesn't exist, but the W plus mode creates a file if it does not exist. Next, we have the append mode. You talked about read and write. Read, you should just see the contents of the file. Write is just to write contents from the beginning of the file. Append mode. Let's say I have a file and I want to add content to the end of the file. I also want to add extra content. We can't use write mode because we know if you use write mode, by default, it'll start from the beginning of the file, which means that if I add more data, it'll override the existing data. So what do we do? Use the append mode. The append mode will bring the file pointer to the end of the file, which means that any data that we add now to the file will be added in addition to the existing data. So it will not overwrite anything. It'll just add extra contents to the file. So what the use of the append mode is. And the append mode is denoted by A, right? And it will create a new file also if it does not exist. Okay. Now, if you want to read and append, we have A plus or plus A, and this will also create a new file. Those are the different access modes that we have. And now we know how to open a file, right? So we specify the path right here. This is a relative path, you could say, right? Because the current working directory, whatever directory I'm working it in, that is the directory I'm looking for the file.txt. So that's the current working directory. In the current working directory, this file is present, and I'm opening it in the W mode. I can W plus, I can put in A mode, I can put in R mode, R plus mode, the different kinds of mode that we just talked about. And now we know how to open the files, but we will have to also learn how to use these files, right? So in the next few videos, we'll be looking at how to use files. And if you noticed here that we have this binary equivalent column, don't worry about that now. When we cover binary files, then you will understand what this use is, because we have to use this B at the end to specify that it's for a binary file. So it's a special, it's a different mode that we need to open it. But the meaning of the code will be the same. The meaning of R and RB is the same. Just that for binary files, we have to add that B to specify that it's for a binary file and not a text file. That's the only difference. There's no other difference. Logically, they're the same thing. Just for the binary file, we have to add that B to specify that it's a binary file. That's it for this video. If you understood this video, if you think all your concepts are clear, make sure you hit that like button and you share this with your friends so that they also understand everything. Now, also subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so that you get updated whenever we release new videos. We'll be releasing a lot of new videos for this unit. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. We'll be replying to all your comments so that you understand everything. And these notes, they'll also be linked in the description. So make sure you get these notes, because these notes are complete, thorough, and they are in very easy to understand terms. So if you have any doubts, you can also read these notes and understand clearly. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.